News on the go unfolding in the Eastern Cape at this hour. The National Association of Automotive Component and Allied Manufacturers Show is currently underway in Gqeberha. This is a two-day event showcasing excellence in the automotive industry. Speaking now is Trade and Industry Minister in Pakistan. Let's listen in.
Suspensions at Mercedes-Benz and other OEMs. Ladies and gentlemen, localization is not merely about policy compliance. It is existential. A 5% increase in local content would unlock 30 billion rand in new procurement, dwarfing the 4.4 billion rand US export market. To achieve this, we must act collectively to address some of the bottlenecks to growth. In this regard, the DTIC is reviewing the Automotive Production Development Program, APDP, as a comprehensive way of responding to the challenges the sector is facing, but also to ensure that we see regular growth in the sector to meet the goals of the Automotive Master Plan. Some of these reforms include the incentive structure and shifting duty credits to reward manufacturing instead of assembly credits. Our critical minerals and metal strategy will prioritize beneficiating PGMs, copper, and manganese for high-value new energy vehicle components like fuel cells and batteries. Isondo Precious Metals fuel cell plant in the Wartambo SEZ proves this viability. Ladies and gentlemen, global competitiveness hinges on embracing disruption. At the DTIC, we've been engaged on a path of developing new industrial policy which focuses on decarbonization, digitization, and diversification. In this respect, we take example from players in the auto sector. In the areas of digitization, Eastern Cape pioneers like S4 and GenderMark demonstrate how AI and automation can future-proof operations. I think somebody from S4 or GenderMark wanted to. Thank you very much. In decarbonization, Bob at SA's 20-year solar energy commitment and Malpen Engineering's green steel pilot project align with global carbon rules reshaping trade. As NACEM notes, carbon has become part of the global cost of doing business and increasingly part of the value too. On diversification, catalytic converter exports, historically our lead subsector, are declining due to EV shifts and Chinese competition. We must scale new products, for example, e-axles, thermal systems, and markets, particularly under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. As such, regional value chains like Kromberg and Schubert's wiring harnesses in Botswana for SA assembly offer templates in this respect. On government progress on NEVs, allow me to report the following. 1. Amendments of the Automotive Production Development Program Phase 2 legislative framework for the inclusion of electric vehicles and associated components have been completed. 2. The relevant amendments to existing automotive investment scheme guidelines are being finalized to align with APDP 2 amendments and the EV legislative framework. 3. The Taxation Laws Amendment Act, gazetted on the 24th of December 2024, introduces a 150% capital allowance for qualifying investments in EV and hydrogen vehicle production. It covers assets such as buildings, plant and equipment brought into use between the 1st of March 2026 to the 1st of March 2036. 4. A national critical minerals and battery value chain master plan are being developed in collaboration with the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, the DTIC, working with the World Bank. Various workshops have been concluded aimed at building regional supply chain capacity. And 5, a comprehensive skills gap analysis was completed under the EV skills workstream. Curricula and certification programs are now being developed with the Tshwane University of Technology, the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, the Durban University of Technology, and UNISA. A pilot project involving 100 students is expected to be rolled out in Q1 of 2026 once the academic material has been finalized. Ladies and gentlemen, we have walked a long journey with the auto sector on transformation. It therefore goes without saying that inclusion drives growth. The South African Automotive Master Plan 2025's target of 130 new black-owned manufacturers is advancing, with 26 black-owned MSMEs exhibiting here today, supported by the Automotive Industry Transformation Fund and OEM partnerships like Toyota Isuzu Supplier Development Program. As you would agree, the pace needs to be hastened. To this end, we are hopeful that industry will support the endeavor of the Transformation Fund that we are pursuing at the DTIC with a view to enhance overall transformation through enterprise and supplier development funds. We need to accelerate skills development to ensure that we prepare our labor force for the dramatic changes that artificial intelligence will bring into the sector. It is therefore critical that we partner with institutions in the country to address this urgently. Entrenching supply chain equity through initiatives like linking equity investments to procurement from black-owned tier 2 or 3 suppliers, thus creating symbiotic growth. As a government, we are also working hard to eliminate compliance burdens and reduce red tape, which inhibits investments into our country's automotive sector. Our policy response is accelerating, and we plan to introduce an omnibus or general laws amendment bill which looks to fast-track high-impact investments and projects within 90 days. This is but one of the ambitious plans we have for the medium term. We'll also, through ITEC, or the International Trade Administration Commission, look at the impact of imports into the country and the impact they are having on local production. We want to grow the sector, so our first option must not be to wield a stick, but rather offer a carrot to these companies to attract more investments into the country, thereby increasing the value add of particularly our component manufacturers. In light of the above, we'd also like to encourage the industry to accelerate collaboration. OEMs need to continue to honor local procurement targets and mentor and invest MSMEs. Tier 1 suppliers must drive equity partnerships and Tier 2 and 3 development. In addition, we urge all stakeholders to engage on the aftermarket, a 7.5 billion rand opportunity, and the AFCFTA integration. NACAM's partnership with the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone to boost supplier growth and skills is a model to replicate. Ladies and gentlemen, this province, producing 46% of South Africa's vehicles and 54% of exports, epitomizes our potential. Therefore, it is incumbent upon all of us to reignite the collective ambition that drives NACAM's advocacy. With South Africa chairing the G20, our automotive sector can model African industrial resilience, rooted in localization, powered by innovation, and fortified by equity. Together, we will not just navigate the future, we will build it. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
All right, so there you have it. That's Trade, Industry and Competition Minister in Parkstyle speaking at the National Association of Automotive Component and Allied Manufacturers Show. It's quite a mouthful, but it's essentially about showcasing excellence in the automotive and manufacturing industry. And it's timely for a number of reasons. I mean, on the one hand, we know that this industry is going to be amongst the hardest hit as a result of the 30% unilateral tariffs that are being introduced by the United States. In fact, they were introduced earlier this month and have taken effect. So we're anticipating a blow on that front. But there's also increased competition from other players in this particular sector, including the Chinese market, which the minister has agreed has added a whole lot more competition and may in fact have an impact on domestic demand for some of the industries or brands that have already taken hold in the country. But there's another third layer of relevance, if you like. In the Western Cape, of course, we're dealing with the challenges, retrenchments to be more specific, from GoodYear, which is a automotive company that's been in Gqeberha, if not broadly the Eastern Cape, for years now, and has had to shut its doors, affecting quite a number of jobs in that particular community, and of course adding to the staggering unemployment figures. Just yesterday we heard there was an uptick to just about 33%. That's where the unemployment numbers are currently, so really staggering indeed. So that particular gathering is, I suppose, worth watching for those reasons and many others, and we'll certainly keep a close eye on it as it continues to unfold.